Hello YouTube, this is Froogle and welcome back to part 2 of our first look at the Alabeo PiperSport Cruz for X-Plane 10. In part 1 we explored the aircraft on the ground, took off, ran a circuit, did the touch and go. Now it's time to actually see how this performs in a stall and a spin. Alright, so 2,600 feet. We're going to level this off and trim it for straight and level at 3,000. You can already see the speed is dropping, the power is reducing the higher we climb. There we are, so let's trim this. Oh, just holding a trim button. Trying to move the trim indicator a little bit, watching the VVI. It's not an instantaneous vertical speed, so don't chase it too much. Use the view out of the cockpit to gauge whether you are right or not. I think we're good. A little bit more nose down trim. So let's try a stall. So we're going to gently ease off the power here. Now I kind of expected this to stall a bit like a Cessna, very slow, very placid. It doesn't. Because it's so light and sporty, it actually stalls quite aggressively. But not, again, it's kind of like the speed thing, it feels a lot faster than it is. And so the stall feels a lot more aggressive than it actually is. Just putting in some back pressure on the stick. There's the stall warning. You see it tips a wing and starts to go down. It's kind of a rapid tip of that wing as well. Let's put some power back in now. Let me see if I can show you a spin. Just get re-established over here. Alright, so we're going to go full power. Nose up. Let the speed bleed off. And as the speed comes off, keep on increasing the back pressure. Put in some right rudder there as we do so. And there we go. If I hold this, it will go into a considerable spin. One that's actually very hard to get out of. I actually did it on a live stream. You can actually get this aircraft to flat spin, which is very strange, but a lot of fun. You know, let's head out to the north now. So I'm just checking my map. I have a map beside me running on the iPad. So I'm going to turn to the north. Beautiful shadowing. Beautiful detail in this cockpit. They've done an amazing job, as Alabeo and Carenado always do in terms of their modelling. They really have done a spectacular job. So we're going to head out to the water there. We do have an aircraft over there behind us. Again, staying away from the airfields to our south. And we'll trim this for straight and level and let you look outside. Just want to get it down to about 2,000 feet now. Where's that other aircraft? There he is. Okay. Let me just get comfy in my seat. So as I said, it's a very basic aircraft. It's a light sport aircraft. It's designed to be easy to fly. It's designed to be very user friendly and to help pilots get a sport license a lot quicker than they would a PPL. I actually really like it. I really do like it. I've had some issues from time to time with click spots in the cockpit not working. I don't really know why that is. And I did have some issues as well with my Cytec panels. If I plugged the panels in, then the throttle didn't seem to work. And I had to switch that throttle control down there to backup throttle in X-Plane, which I've never had to do before. I'm not sure why that is, but I don't think we can fault Alabeo for that. I think that's a problem, obviously, with the developers of the Cytec panels. Alright, so there we are, trimmed out. Let me show you outside. It's a beautiful model. Really well done. It looks a treat. As we've come to expect, every nut, rivet, bolt is modelled. Reflections are good as well. They seem to have been toned down a little bit. One of the problems with X-Plane surfaces on aircraft is they tend to be a little bit maybe too reflective, almost wet. Not the case with this. It's looking very nice indeed. Let's jump back in. They do have preset views in here, so that's obviously the pilot view. And then we have, if it's going to work, oh no, I can't share the views because I'm running track IR, but there is a view down here zoomed in on GPS, another view looking straight down here at the center console, such as it is. Let's trim a little bit more now, and we will pop open the GPS and see where we are. So we are 9 miles out. So we'll start our turn shortly and head on over to San Luis. So we might as well switch on the radios to San Luis Tower now, 124.00. Feed in a bit more power. No need to keep trimming the aircraft.
Who's that call?
Just with the power there.
Delta.
Archer 824 Delta Lima, taxi parking via the south, taxi or via Alpha, remain as frequency.
Alright, let's make our turn now towards San Luis. We'll actually pop open the GPS here, it's a little bit easier to see and manage what we're doing. A little bit of forward pressure on the stick just to stop us ballooning up. There is another aircraft over there by San Luis. I did have to look up before I went flying how I referenced this aircraft on the radio. We call it ours a PiperSport, and then the type is Charlie Romeo Uniform Zulu, so they know it's a PiperSport Cruz.
Just 2 copy Mike, runway 20 left, click the option.
Again, beautiful, beautiful modeling. Very basic cockpit. But you can make a basic cockpit look really bad, and they haven't. They've made this look absolutely astounding. Love it to pieces. Now landing this is interesting because it's got such a slow stall speed. It feels deceptive. Alright, so we're about 3.5 miles out now from San Luis Class D airspace. So we'll make the call at about 7 miles.
Gary 5 Alpha Lima, John Wayne Tower, wind calm, runway 20 right, clear for takeoff.
And then our controller finished talking to who he's talking to. San Luis Tower, November 544 Juliet Lima is a PiperSport type Charlie Romeo Uniform Zulu, 7 miles south of the airport. To land, please.
Piper 544 Juliet Lima, San Luis Tower, make straight in runway 29er.
Straight in, runway 29er for Juliet Lima. Alright, so we'll just adjust our heading a little bit here. We'll roll that with the rolly wheel. So that's the runway heading right there. So we're going to turn slightly to the right and intercept that.
Auto 242 Sierra Kilo, Los Angeles Queens, on request.
Let's see if we can get rid of this for a second.
Gary 5 Alpha Lima, contact depart. Cessna 2 Papa Mike, traffic is King Air, departed the parallel about a minute and a half ago. Caution wake turbulence.
So it's going to be directly off to our left. As we pass over these hills, we'll drop our altitude down to about 1500.
Cessna 2 Papa Mike, negative. That traffic departed. He's south. He's behind you. Just giving you the caution wake turbulence there. He was a King Air on the parallel. He departed about 2 minutes ago. Should be fine.
There it is. So we'll keep on reducing altitude. We'll start reducing speed now as well, so we can get in our first stage of flaps. And after we land, I'll disconnect from Pilot Edge and we'll look at a replay and see how it looked flying around, and also the landing. There is an aircraft off to my left. Just being aware. bring that power back now. Watching my rate of descent. Don't want to go too fast. As we hit the white arc here on the speed, we can drop the first stage of flaps. That will cause a bit of a balloon. We'll start our turn in to runway 29. Speed's coming down nicely. We don't have permission to land yet. We are 2 miles out. And just be very gentle on the controls. It can be very twitchy. San Luis Tower, 4 Juliet Lima is on a 2-mile final, runway 29.
4 Juliet Lima, runway 29, clear land.
Clear to land, 4 Juliet Lima, thank you. See, it's getting a little bouncy. See if we can put in the next stage of flaps. We won't need to go full flaps at all. Lights look good to the left of the runway there. A little bit under the speed we want to be at. 60 knots is the normal speed for approach here. A little bit lower than that, but that's fine. Especially with all the drag that we have hung out right now. Gentle flare, and we're down. Alright, we'll take the next exit, gently apply the brakes. There's the exit right there, I think. Oh, a little bit too much brake. And we're on Foxtrot. San Luis Tower 4 Juliet Lima exited the runway at Foxtrot to the right.
Piper 4 Juliet Lima, taxi parking via Alpha, remain this frequency.
It's parking via Alpha, remain this frequency, 4 Juliet Lima. Alright. Let's head on into parking. Now I don't have any scenery here, so it is a little bit bland.
Cessna 2 Papa Mike, runway 20 left, click the option.
We'll just taxi on down here to where we think parking should be, and then we'll disconnect from Pilot Edge and take a look at the replay. As you saw, it's a little squirrely to slow down. It's actually very, very hard to slow this down. I'm not sure whether that's an issue with my control setup or the aircraft. It is a little bit frisky, so I probably took that exit. It felt too fast, but again, as with so much in this aircraft, what feels incredibly fast actually usually isn't. It's just such a small plane, and you're so low to the ground when you're on the ground like this. It feels very, very frisky. Alright, so that will probably honestly about do. So let's stop just about here. And we will go ahead and disconnect from Pilot Edge, so we don't upset anybody.
Disconnected.
Alright, let me roll out the parking brake here, and we'll go ahead and take a look at our replays. They really have done an amazing job at modeling this, as they always do. And despite how easy this is to fly, it's actually very, very relaxing and a lot of good fun. It really lets you concentrate on the flying more than anything else. Let's just forward this up to the approach now. Come on. Don't crash. There we are. You can see how much it's moving around in the air. It really does feel alive. I mean, that is an X-Plane trait, but this aircraft really accentuates it. And not a bad landing. Could have been smoother. Overall, Alabeo PiperSport Cruz for X-Plane. I think this is a wonderful aircraft. I really do. I know this is also available for FSX and Prepared, so if those are your sims of choice, then by all means check it out there. As always, my name is Froogle. See the show notes underneath this video for information on the link to go and find out where this aircraft is and how much it is and all that good stuff. As always, my name is Froogle. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.